What are the best study methods for engineering students? Many people I ask say that repeating it until it is engraved in your mind, but I feel like there must be better methods. I think that's a really good way to study for an exam and to learn how to apply a concept that you're learning in engineering. I don't know, maybe it's a thermo concept, or you're trying to solve certain types of thermo problems. Or maybe you're trying to do free body diagrams. The best way to learn how to do free body diagrams is by practicing doing free body diagrams. So I agree with those people. Repeating until it's engraved in your mind. I wouldn't say repeating it by like writing it down over and over again. It's the practice that you get from from doing it over and over again, doing problems, applying it, that will help you do well on exams. Now, the other thing that I think is really valuable, and this is educational research that's gone into this, and some of my classes did this in college. It's the idea of the flipped classroom. I'm going to take that and apply it a little bit. You know, a lot of my professors say read the textbook before you come to class. Read the concept. Just skim the textbook before you come to class, or watch a video on the topic before you come to class. And I think that that's very valuable. I think that whenever you're in the classroom setting, the best thing you can do to prepare yourself to be really effective in the classroom is just to have a vague idea of what's going on, so you know what kind of questions to ask. Like, I think that this comes up in every part of our life, right? Like, you're in a discussion session with somebody and you're talking about a topic. The more informed you are about the topic, the more informative discussion and educational discussion you can have about the topic. And say, for example, you're about to go into a class and you're about to learn about the moment of inertia. What is the moment of inertia? If you're coming into that conversation and you're trying to take notes and you're trying to pay attention, and you're trying to learn and trying to do all that all at once, it's really hard to to kind of do so many things at once. You're just trying to write things down. But if you've already kind of watched a video on moment of inertia, maybe you have the notes in the textbook printed out already, or hopefully maybe I loved it whenever professors would give out slides, so that way I could just annotate their slides with my insights instead of having to try to write all the notes down. Whatever you can do to come into a classroom, your lecture, already knowing just a little bit or something about that topic, then you're more successful. I mean, say, also when you take your math classes in high school, at the beginning of the school year, whenever y'all are doing that review and that refresher over topics that you covered before, maybe in a previous year, you do really well then, right? Because it's just a review for you. So anything you can do to kind of make it so that your brain is not having to start from square zero whenever you come into class, that's another really good way to study. And that's the studying that you do before class, not the studying you do after class and when cramming for an exam. So what I'd say is, yes, practice problems, practice problems, practice problems. Do the questions from the back of the textbook, from the back of the section of the textbook. If you can do those hardest problems with the same like access to resources that you'll have in the exam, you'll find that you'll do really well in your exams. That's what worked for me. And then also, it's just that investment ahead of time, so that way your time in class is more valuable. If you find yourself sitting in class and you walk out of that class and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what we talked about, then you got nothing out of it. And you're going to spend that same amount of time after class trying to teach yourself that material again when you're doing the homework. So invest that time on the front end. I know it's hard to do that. You have to be disciplined to do that. And I was not good at doing that. So I guess I'm not preaching to my own choir here. But my classmates that did do this were the classmates that were the most effective. So I recommend that highly. I was reading through Reddit and I saw a really good comment at the top here. So I figured, why not share it? So to understand something, watch a video explaining it, read a good textbook, build or design something that uses it, find case studies, explain it to somebody else, reverse engineer. Sounds like the types of things that our professors build into our classes, right? To remember something, yeah, write it down over and over again. I'm not good at remembering things either, but I think that the best thing you can do to remember something is to just keep organized notes. And I like OneNote. That's what I do with my notes. But engineering students, you probably do stuff with pen and paper, which is probably right. And to get good at something for exams, practice textbook solved examples, practice more examples, practice exercise, practice old exams if available. Yeah. So very good advice, similar advice to what I had to give. And That's the formula, is coming into class as prepared as possible, doing your homework, and then practice problems. That's how you get through engineering school. All right, next one.
I'm miscommunicating. I just made a pilot, then they threw me on the stations. Now I'm not complaining, now I'm not complaining. My thoughts get complicated, I cannot explain in layman's. Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.